Good evening. A man who killed a teenager in Shropshire and dumped her body in Wales has pleaded guilty to murder on the first day of his trial. Georgia Williams, who was from Wellington, disappeared at the end of May. Her body was found 5 days later. Jamie Reynolds, also from Wellington, initially denied the charge but changed his plea at Stafford Crown Court this morning. Callum Watkinson reports.
2 days after killing Georgia Williams at his home in Shropshire and dumping her body by the roadside in Wales, Jamie Reynolds is captured by cameras in Glasgow. He strangled the 17-year-old after inviting her to his house in Wellington to pose for a photo shoot. Georgia's family left court today after hearing him change his plea to guilty, saving them the ordeal of a trial that was scheduled to last for 3 weeks.
It's important for the family of Georgia, it's important for the friends of Georgia, but it's also important for the community of Wellington. It's important for the family to ensure that they're able to grieve for Georgia without the burden of a forthcoming trial.
They last saw their daughter on the 26th of May. It's thought Reynolds killed her that evening. He dumped her body in woodland just off the Nantagarth Pass near Ruthin the next day before driving to Scotland. On the 28th of May, Georgia was reported missing and a nationwide hunt began for Reynolds and his Toyota van, with these images captured in Glasgow. He was arrested at a hotel there the following day. On the 31st of May, Georgia's body was found. Responding to the guilty plea this afternoon, officers made particular mention of help they received from the public in finding her.
It's very important for us to comment on the dignity that the family has shown, the courage that they've shown, the help and assistance we've had from the public, particularly in providing us information, that are very small pieces of information that's helped us get Georgia back to the family.
Wearing a dark suit, Jamie Reynolds spoke only to enter that guilty plea during today's brief hearing, at which it also emerged that photographic material relevant to the moments before and after he strangled Georgia Williams formed part of the case against him. In a statement, Georgia's family said the guilty plea gave them no satisfaction. The pain we feel is as raw now, they said, as it was when our beautiful Georgia was taken from us back in May. Reynolds will be sentenced on the 19th of this month, when further details of his crime are expected to emerge. Callum Watkinson, ITV News at Stafford Crown Court.
A man who mugged a grandmother yards from her home in the Hawksley area of Birmingham has been jailed for 11 years. Retired care worker Carol Moody died after being attacked as she walked home from her car after a night out at the bingo. Marvin Blake, who's 37 and of no fixed address, was jailed after admitting manslaughter, robbery and 3 charges of theft at Birmingham Crown Court.
Hatred, angry. He's took a massive part of mine and my children's life away that we'll never ever get back. Things will never ever be the same again. There's a part of me that he's destroyed. It's hard to trust people.
An inquest has heard 2 brothers died in a crash on the M6 on Christmas Day after their mother lost control of the car. 4-year-old Muhammad Arsalan Habib and his brother Adnan, who was 10, died with their aunt Bushrat Zarib in the crash as they travelled to a family wedding. The inquest in Stoke-on-Trent also heard Adnan and his aunt weren't wearing seat belts. The coroner recorded a narrative verdict. Nearly £30 million worth of drugs have been seized in Brownhills near Cannock Chase in what detectives are calling the largest haul they've seen. Police found nearly 200 kilograms of cannabis, cocaine and MDMA at the Maybrook Industrial Estate. 3 men arrested on suspicion of supplying a controlled drug have been released on bail. An injured serviceman from Nuneaton is preparing for one of the most extreme races in the world. Scott Blaney had his leg amputated after being injured by a bomb in Afghanistan. He's now attempting to row 3,000 miles across the Atlantic, as Victoria Davis reports.
It's the world's toughest rowing race, challenging enough for someone in top physical shape, let alone a serviceman who lost a leg to a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
Basically wanted to do it for my friends who never came back, the guys who are more injured than me. If you put your mind to it, you can achieve anything really. So sky's the limit. Okay, I've got one leg and a bit of an arm left really. but I'm still going to row across the Atlantic.
Scott Blaney, who's from Nuneaton, is part of the row to recovery team in the Talisker Whisky Atlantic Challenge. Together they will row 3,000 miles from the Canary Islands to Antigua. It's a crew of 4, where Scott will also be joined by another injured serviceman who had both his legs amputated.
You can't stop. You've got to find the next challenge. You have to motivate yourself. You're still alive. You can't quit at this point.
The fight carries on. You've got to try and carry on and motivate yourself, as Cal said. You've got to get up there and do these things, and we can take our legs up, but we can still stand up strong.
The gruelling race will take 6 weeks to complete, with the team rowing 24 hours a day. They'll endure 40-foot waves, tropical storms and sleep deprivation as they make their way across the dangerous and unpredictable seas of the Atlantic.
Participants we send off at the race start, the ones we say goodbye to are not the same ones we say welcome to in Antigua. It's life-changing.
The race is due to start on Wednesday, with all the money the team raises going to the charity Help for Heroes. But Scott says the most important thing for him is to inspire others to live their life to the full, whatever their disability. Victoria Davis, ITV News.
Now let's get the weather forecast. With the details, here's Lucy Veresami.
It could be cool in Birmingham, but somewhere in the world, the sun is shining. ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
A very good evening to you. Well, the weather keeping us on our toes in the next few days after a quiet start to the week. Windy and wet come midweek, and then much colder come Friday. Mist and fog developing this coming night. Temperatures falling close to freezing, so a patchy frost. The fog could well give some poor visibility into tomorrow morning. A slow start to the day, and through the morning rush hour the fog could well take its time to lift. A chilly start to the day as well, and through the course of the afternoon, little change. Very misty, gloomy and grey, and staying quite nippy for all of us. I'll see you again very soon. Have a good night.
ITV Central Weather, sponsored by Turkish Airlines.
And that's all we got time for tonight. There are further details and updates on our stories on the website, itv.com/central. For now though, from the late team, good night.